speaker has a set of some striking habits to get some great things done in the club and outside the club. And he accomplishes this by cutting himself across the lives of busyness and Facebook and social media and all other distraction to do some deep work. He's a real inspiration for many Toastmasters here. His mentor is Toastmaster Umakant, and his speech is titled Safety Net. His speech is titled Safety Net. Please welcome impressive IIM grad Vivek Vijayan.
Have you ever spread a safety net for someone in your life? That's good. Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters and my dear guests, don't underestimate yourself, the people who did not raise your hands. You definitely would have spread a safety net. Let me tell you an incident. There is a lady who lives in our neighborhood. She is extremely resourceful and industrious. One day, she declares that she is going to start a tuition center for 10th standard students. Nothing wrong, except that she herself had just scraped through 10th standard, and that was her highest qualification. I'm not a great fan of grades, but if you ask her, where is Sri Lanka, she would say it is in the north of India. Where is Pythagoras theorem used? It is used to measure heartbeat. And where was the first war of Indian independence fought? She will tell it with such a confidence that first war of Indian independence was fought in Istanbul that you would believe it. But she starts off. Once she starts off, she enrolls 10 students in the very first month. 10 students. Now, on the way back from office, I have this hobby of counting the number of chappals lying outside our house. So that gave me an idea about how the increase happened. Every week, she used to add 5. So I was wondering, by then it was around 30, 40 of them. Then I wondered, what's going on? What's the secret behind her so-called success? I did my own investigation into what was really going on into this phenomenon, this strange phenomenon. So what used to happen is, every business has a catchment area, right? Her catchment area were students who were completely discarded by their schools and even more discarded by the tuition centers. So they had nowhere to go. Who had students had no hope, their parents really had no hope. They used to come to her. She used to tell them, all that you need to do is, let your child attend 5 classes. Just like the way we tell our guests to come 5 times to Toastmasters, 5 classes. And at the end of 5th class, parents asked to come. She would tell them, your son is very intelligent. Only problem is he's a bit lazy. Laziness is not a disease, and we can solve it. But at the age of 14 and 15, unless you have a serious learning disability, most of them are intelligent. What she ended up doing is to create a very positive environment. The parents started treating their children with more respect, and the children had a job to keep the newfound teacher honest. So they started studying themselves. The result was really good. They started studying themselves, no coaching, nothing. So she was not teaching mathematics or physics. What was happening is metaphysics. What she did was to amplify the very inherent strength of a human, that is intelligence. When she did that, these kids were able to cross the difficult bridge of board exams. So what she exactly did was to spread a safety net. She spread a safety net for the parents and the children to cross the difficult bridge of board exams. So do not underestimate yourself. This is what we all do here. As Toastmasters, we amplify the strengths of the speakers so that they can cross the difficult bridge of experiments in public speaking. Do not underestimate yourselves. In a completely different incident that happened to me a few years back, I was visiting my cousin. My cousin lives in Shornur. It's in the Malabar region of Kerala. I got down from the bus. It was around 6:30 and it was pitch dark by the time I got out. And he came to receive me and take me to his house. He had torch lights. Then we had to walk over a bridge. He told, walk over the bridge and let's cross the bridge and go. It was using torch lights. It was fine. So we were talking about a lot of things. And the next day morning we were coming back. He was bringing me back to the bus stand. And he told me, this is the bridge you crossed. I told him, this is the bridge I crossed. Would I have crossed this bridge? It was just a wooden plank and a stream was going beneath it. No. He says, I knew you are a completely urban bred person. You do not have any idea about being in pitch dark. And you would shudder to even cross something on a wooden plank bridge. So he did not point out the weakness that I had. Instead, he talked about, I like talking about politics. So he talked about politics. And so that the adrenaline rush that goes through when you talk about politics. And so that made me cross the bridge. Friends, this is what we do. This is what we do week after week here. We do not amplify the weaknesses, but treat them as blemishes. When we treat these as blemishes and amplify the strengths of the speakers, what we do is to help them cross the difficult bridge of public speaking. That's exactly what we do. Now you must be wondering, everything is fine, so how do I take it forward? Beyond Toastmasters. You can take it to things beyond Toastmasters in your life. And how do you do it? For that, you have to understand a person. There are 3 levels of understanding a person. 3 levels. The lowest level of understanding a person is to form opinions about that person. Opinions are the patented rights of Times Now, Republic TV, NDTV and many other news channels. So let us not worry about it. So we will not take that. The next level of understanding is to collect facts. Collect data. But it's good. It's good to collect data. Of course it's good. Very good. But the problem there is that you do not get a holistic picture when you just collect facts. When you just collect facts, it could be that you could miss the forest for the trees. The highest level of understanding, friends, the highest level of understanding is empathy. Empathy is where you get into the shoes of the person whom you want to help. You suspend your egos and then you do not argue, don't teach, don't preach. Automatically, you will start amplifying the strengths of the person whom you want to help. When you have complete empathy, you start amplifying the strengths of the person whom you want to help. And thereby, it helps that person cross the bridge of their own difficulty. Friends, you must be wondering, what's in it for me now? Oh, yeah, I will spread safety nets every now and then. Not what's in it for me or what's in it for you. As you spread safety nets, as you keep on spreading safety nets over a period of time, you start practicing altruism. And altruism, my friends, is one of the 7 ways to lead a very happy life, according to a research by Harvard. I'm sure we all want to lead a happy life. Good. So, your siblings need your safety net. Your colleagues need your safety net. Your parents need your safety net. Your friends need your safety net. Your spouse needs your safety net. Who other than you are most eligible to go and spread the safety net? Don't argue. Don't preach. Don't teach. Now let me again ask you a question. How many of you are willing to go and spread your safety nets? Mr. Towson.